Someone yells out, "This isn't good," and calls for Kuru to come back. Right at that moment, a creature screaming "Q" crashes onto a boy who looks up in total shock. In front of him, a towering monster, roaring like it owns the place. It's massive, and it's heading straight for him. The boy tries to hold his ground, gripping his dagger, even though it's clearly not enough. Then, just as things are about to go south, a young woman dashes in and lands a crushing punch on the monster. There's a burst of energy. The boy shields himself from the blast, and when he finally peeks out, he can't believe it. That basilisk, taken down in a single hit. Yeah, one hit. A catgirl casually strolls up and asks if that monster was supposed to be his prey. The boy, his name is Lint, is still processing what just happened. I mean, an A-rank beast dropped that fast? No way. That's not supposed to be possible. Now, here's a bit about Lint. He's a newly promoted D-rank adventurer who already found himself on the losing end of a fight. Getting wrecked like that has him questioning everything, his strength, his future, even if he belongs out here. But he's not alone. His closest companion, Karuk, is more than just a battle buddy. Believe it or not, Karuk started off as a slime. Doesn't sound like much, but despite the appearance, this little guy is loyal, tough, and incredibly useful. Without him, Lint wouldn't have made it this far. With that behind him, Lint sets his eyes on the royal capital. As they approach, the excitement starts building. He walks into the city, full of hope. It's buzzing with life. Merchants shouting over each other, carriages rolling by, animals trotting through the streets. It's the kind of place that screams opportunity. While wandering through the crowd, a couple of girls try to chat him up, but Lint brushes him off. Karuk throws him a look, classic really, vibe, and Lint just mutters, "Let's go to the guild first." They make their way to a huge building, and it's impressive, majestic, even. For Lint, this place feels like a fresh start. He steps inside and finds it packed with adventurers, some laughing, others sharing drinks or stories. It's lively, a bit chaotic, but full of energy. Then things shift. A man spots Lint and immediately gets angry. Not just annoyed, furious. Other adventurers start chiming in, mocking him for bringing a monster into the guild. They assume he's a tamer, and from the way they say it, it's clear they don't mean it kindly. People start whispering, giving him dirty looks, calling him a bad tamer. And Lint just stands there, thinking, yeah, this is my profession. The insults keep coming. Someone accuses him of having a terrible reputation. Another guy steps forward and tells him to leave. A man named Bettany straight up says, "Tamers aren't welcome here." But Lint doesn't back down. He tells him he's not going anywhere. They're just here to find a job. That takes them off guard. Bettany flips out, claiming that if tamers like Lint are allowed to roam freely, the guild's reputation will tank. He warns him to leave before things escalate. Lint doesn't even blink. Calm as ever, he sidesteps the man and says, "Excuse me, we're just passing through." That's when the man loses it and charges at Lint, calling him a brat. Then, boom, everything stops. The guy is suddenly flat on the floor, and Karuk is perched on top of him. Lint stays calm. He started it, he says. Someone in the crowd mutters, "This is exactly why tamers are scum." The man on the ground shouts, furious that Lint let his monster attack him. Others start whispering again, saying Lint probably climbed the ranks just by letting his monsters do the fighting. But Lint stands his ground. "This is what tamers do," he replies, and snaps his fingers. Karuk backs off immediately. Just then, a voice cuts through the noise. A bald man with a mustache steps in and says, "That's enough. Let him go." Lint looks over, a bit confused. Meanwhile, Karuk growls once more before stepping away. The mustached man walks up and tells Lint he's got talent, and that the capital's always open to newcomers. "Ignore that closed-minded fool on the ground," he adds with a smirk. He invites Lint to sit and orders a drink. Then he brings up tamers and throws out a pointed question. "You sure you understand what work ethic means?" Not the friendliest small talk, but hey, it's a start. They raise a toast to the future of this young tamer, and Lint clinks his glass in return. The man smiles. "Things like this don't happen often," he says, pointing across the room. "See that? That's a rank monster. Lint looks over and sees a beast inside a cage. Wait, is that a basilisk? He asks. The man nods, but then adds, that's not what I was talking about. Lint thinks for a moment. The adventurer who caught it, did she have cat ears? Now the guy's curious. You know her. Turns out she's Bellina the Lightning, an A-rank adventurer, known for her insane skills, and the fact that she works solo. As Lint walks back through the city, he can't stop thinking about her. A powerful, solitary adventurer, and possibly someone he'll cross paths with again. Definitely one to watch. The mustache man tells him she moves so fast, most people can't even see her with the naked eye. And just like that, the boy puts two and two together. That's why they call her Lightning. Makes sense, right? In his thoughts, Lint figures it's probably best not to get too involved with someone that powerful. High-ranked adventurers come with high-level problems, and that's a burden he knows he can't handle right now. His focus is simple. Finish the mission and get paid. Priorities. Soon after, Lint finds himself standing at the mouth of a tunnel. He wonders if this is a sewer system mentioned in his mission. The air is damp, the ground a mess, and yeah, it's full of dirty water. Lovely. He lights a torch and heads in, muttering that they should get this over with quickly. Not long after, some sewer monsters crawl into view. Lint squints at them, try to figure out if they're mutated moles or just nasty skunks. Either way, they're trouble. Chard, Karuk, he yells. The mission is pretty straightforward. Wipe out the sewer monsters before something bigger starts preying on them, and decides to move in. With sword in hand, Lint dives in, striking the creatures and sending them flying. Then boom, the whole tunnel rumbles. Lint freezes. Is there a party going on down here? But something in his gut tells him it's not a celebration. It's something worse. Way worse. Even though his mission's done, curiosity and that classic adventure instinct gets the better of him. He knows this could be dangerous. But opportunities like this don't come every day. So he presses on. Deeper into the tunnels, Lint suddenly stops. In front of him stands a massive creature, cold eyes locked onto him. It's a queen wolf, a B-rank monster. Not just rare, but seriously powerful. Lint's heart sinks. How did this thing even get down here? Then he spots injured knights on the ground. No way can he leave them behind. He quickly remembers. He's got a magical dagger. It's strong, sure, but the queen wolf has serious offense. This isn't going to be easy. The monster charges. In that split second, Lint reminds himself, it's not just about power, it's how you use it. He calls out to Kurik. The little guy darts toward the monster's face, drawing its attention, while Lint flanks on the side and unleashes a fireball with every bit of strength he's got. The explosion rocks the tunnel. He cheers. Wolves are weak to fire. But, yeah, too soon. Through the smoke, the queen wolf leaps, fast and furious. Lint knows this is it. He grips his sword, bracing for the end. And then wham! Out of nowhere, a strike knocks the beast into the wall. And standing there? Yep, it's her again. The catgirl, the senior tamer. Stunned, Lint asks, Are you Bellina the Lightning? She smiles. Sounds like you already know me. Then she hands him a wolf's fang. Lint's eyes go wide. This is super rare. Bellina just nods and says it's proof that he stood his ground. He protests, You're the one who actually beat it. But she just smiles and says it's fine. Take it. Think of it as a souvenir. Karuk lets out a cheer, and Bellina kneels to pet him, telling him he did great. She also adds, You and Lint are such lovable kids. A sweet moment, honestly. Lint blushes at the compliment, and when Bellina asks if they're leaving already, he pauses. She picks up on his distraction, and he admits, It's just, I've never been this close to a rank A before. She laughs. You're a cute one. Want to talk about it? Lint clearly isn't used to this kind of attention. He tries to excuse himself, saying he needs to report back to the guild. But Bellina grabs him by the arm. Nope, you're coming with me. Next thing he knows, they're walking into a fancy restaurant. The receptionist greets Bellina warmly. Clearly, she's a regular. Lint, meanwhile, is sweating. I just got here, and I'm already eating with a rank A? And the place? It looks expensive. They sit down, and a huge feast is served. Belina tells him to dig in, but Lint just stares at the food, worried he can't afford any of this. Still, he takes a bite, and it's so good he nearly cries. Belina bursts out laughing. First time I've seen someone cry while eating, she says, urging him to eat more. Lint doesn't argue. While holding Kurik in her arms, she pets him and asks, "So, you really are a tamer, huh? That's a rare and precious thing." Lint doesn't really get it. "I'm just a D rank," he says. But Belina shakes her head. "Nah, from the moment I saw you, and Kurik, I knew you were special." Then she gets curious. "Wait, you said Kurik used to be a slime? How did he change like that? Slimes usually can't evolve." Lint shrugs. "Honestly, I don't know. He's the only one I've ever tamed." Belina suddenly slams the table, eyes lit up. "Okay, hear me out. I've got an idea that could work for both of us." She leans in close. "Tame me." Lint freaks out and falls backward. "Wait, what?" She giggles. "You okay?" He sits up stammering. "You're a rank, eh? Do you even know what taming means?" Belina, totally unbothered, kneels beside him, cups his face, and asks, "Isn't it just a contract between the tamer and the partner?" Lint tries to shift the conversation. Taming humans isn't a thing. She just smiles. "Well, you've never tried, right? So how would you know?" Then, without warning, she hugs him. He asks, "Why do you want me to tame you?" She wipes his face gently and says, "Because it sounds fun." Lynn immediately points out, "You'd lose your freedom." But she's still smiling, brushing her hair aside. "I don't mind. Some things are worth the risk." Just as Lynn starts to protest again, she smirks and adds, "Fine, but if you're going to tame me, I want my salary paid up front." Next thing you know, they're upstairs in a mechanical workshop full of tools. Belina starts tinkering, showing off her skills, and Lint is genuinely impressed. She's a pro, fast, focused, and methodical. Noticing his reaction, Belina teases, "What? Is this the first time you've seen someone work like this?" Lint doesn't even reply. He's too awestruck. He watches breathless as she repairs complex gears and even some old vehicles. She wipes the sweat from her brow and grins. "By now, I bet you really want to hire me." Nervously, Lint blurts out that he'll sign the contract with the catgirl. She lights up with excitement, clearly thrilled by his response. And just like that, it's the first step in their journey together. As night falls over the city, Lint reflects on the skill of taming. To him, it's not just a power, it's a connection. It's the only ability that forms a true bond between master and companion. Meanwhile, the catgirl, Belina, mentions that when Lint uses his taming skill, strange images flash through her mind. She can't help but wonder what exactly he's thinking about. Then comes a quiet, kind of intimate moment. Lint and Belina touch hands. He starts thinking about how taming is really just about giving and receiving. He admits it hasn't been long since he tamed Kurik, which makes Belina chuckle. "So you're newbie too?" she teases. That definitely hits a nerve, and Lint gets a little annoyed. Trying to shift gears, Lint says it's time to start the taming process. Belina agrees, and the two press their foreheads together as he activates his power. Lint lays it out. He wants her to help him, to stand by his side in battle. He's about to explain what he can offer in return, but the nerves kick in. Belina smiles. "You're pretty bold, you know that?" Lint shrugs. "Not like I've got a lot to offer a rankus adventurer." Then she asks, "So, what can you offer?" His response, "I'll teach you how to play Minecraft." Yep, you heard that right. Minecraft. That definitely catches her off guard in the best way. She's immediately intrigued, saying she's happy to accept what he wants to give. Link clarifies it's just a mutual exchange, and with a calm nod, she says she's in. She's been waiting for the right moment, after all. With their hands clasped, Lint formally declares their subordination contract sealed. A swirl of magic wraps around them, signaling the process is complete. Belina is now officially his companion. Curious, Lint asks how she feels. She tilts her head and goes, "So this is what being tamed feels like? It's warm." Then, with a playful smirk, she reminds him of his part of the deal. It's Minecraft time. Turns out she's never played before. Lin helps her get a feel for controller, which makes her shy for a second. But Lin is all in. He starts teaching her the basics, showing off his quick reflexes and solid building skills. At one point, he even takes a controller to demonstrate a few key moves, especially how to fend off monsters. But Belina grabs it right back, saying she's already getting the hang of it. Before long, she's building with confidence, showing real skill with the game's tools. Hours pass. The mood turns quiet, the screen dimly lit, and eventually, Lint dozes off. Sometime later, Belina gently calls out to him. He wakes up slowly, surprised he passed out like that. "Did I actually teach you something useful?" he asks groggily. She smiles. "You did. You're no expert, but your instructions were clear." Then, out of nowhere, she stands up and shows him her arms. Turns out, her body's stronger now. It's like something changed overnight. Link gets up, still a bit hazy, but clearly recharged. Belina asks if it's because he used the skills in the game. He nods, then compliments her strength and her gaming talent. She brushes it off, telling him he just needs to train more. They lie back down for a moment. And Lint declares he's going to train every day from now on. Belina encourages him, "Give it your best." And just like that, he's fired up again, grabbing the controller for another round. Belina watches him closely and comments that he's changed. This isn't the same Lint she made a contract with. Now he's got purpose. Lint grins. Normally, tamers only tame after the contract. Belina laughs, saying he's clearly focusing his skills on the right things. With your taming, even a dragon would fall in line. Bold words, but she's not done. She says that even though he hasn't tamed a dragon yet, he is the guy who tamed a rank S adventurer. That makes him a top-tier tamer in her eyes. He chuckles, though, and says dragon tamers don't exist, only dragon knights. Belina raises an eyebrow and confidently says, "Dragons are just pets. A true tamer should be able to control them." She reaches for the controller and asks to play again, but Lint's too caught up in showing off his monster fighting techniques. Belina watches, clearly impressed. She even lets out an excited squeal. Then, with a sly smile, she reveals something, pulling back her bangs to show two horns. Lint is stunned. She explains, "With these horns, I'm 3 times stronger than before." Her power is skyrocketed, and she's absolutely thrilled. She grabs a controller and shows Lint how she deals with monsters now. Meanwhile, across town at the Royal Capital's Guild HQ, things are buzzing. Tamers and adventurers of all kinds are checking in. A receptionist looks up and does a double take. Lint walks in, completely exhausted. "I need a 2-person mission," he says. The receptionist squints. "Weren't you here just yesterday?" She points out how rough he looks, and he agrees he's definitely wiped out. Behind him, Belina strolls in and teases, "This is why I don't stay up late. But hey, he's young, he'll bounce back." The receptionist is shocked to see her. Then she hands Belina some paperwork, congratulating her on defeating a basilisk. That victory just earned her a promotion to rank S. Pretty impressive, but she pauses, then asks Belina if she's really okay traveling with a rank D like Lint, considering her elite status. Before Belina can respond, a bald man with a mustache steps up. Lint recognizes him instantly. It's the guy who helped him out the day before. Grateful, Lint thanks him. The man is surprised Lint is already teaming up with Belina. "A lot can happen in a day," Lint says, a little sheepishly. The mustache man just chuckles and adds, "Well, I did hear you saved 2 knights in the sewers yesterday." And just like that, Lint's reputation is starting to grow. The men in the background freeze in surprise as they spot Lint. A couple of knights approach him, offering their thanks for the rescue. They're clearly impressed. One of them even says it's incredible that Lint managed to take down the Queen Wolf all by himself. Lint, a little overwhelmed, tries to brush it off like it's no big deal. Humble hero moment right there. The receptionist smiles, noting that everything seems to be going smoothly. Belina agrees with a nod. As they glance over the paperwork for their next mission, Lint does a quick analysis. Since he's ranked E and Belina is rank S, they're allowed to take on missions up to rank C. Pretty decent range to work with. Belina grins, full of energy. Don't worry, she tells him. We'll work on your rank until you reach S. Lint, still unsure, asks if that's even possible. She doesn't hesitate. Of course. You and Karuk are both strong. You've got what it takes. Lint thanks her, clearly encouraged by her confidence. And she doubles down. She's convinced he has the potential to become the strongest adventurer of all time. That's a bold claim, but hey, she seems serious. Just then, Karuk, their furry little companion, gets their attention, pointing ahead. Lint's expression changes. He sees a man with a sword and instantly recognizes him. It's that guy, the one who tried to kick Lint out of the guild the day before. And now, he's back, looking to stir up more trouble. He's clearly not thrilled about Lint or his monster. Belina raises a hand and tauntingly beckons a man with one finger. Provoked, he charges straight at them. Perfect, Belina shouts. I've been dying to test out the power you gave me. Without warning, she dashes forward and lands a devastating punch. It's insane. The guy is launched through the air like a missile, crashes through the guild wall, and literally flies across the city. Not even exaggerating. Lint stares, mouth open. Belina, what did you just do? She turns around, still riding that adrenaline rush. I think I just released a shockwave. Then, totally hyped, she hugs Lint tightly. I've been trying to pull off that move forever, and I finally did. I don't even know how to thank you. Later, out in the city, Belina crouches to stretch while Lint asks if there's anywhere she wants to go before their next mission. She smiles and says yes. Where to, he asks. Instead of answering, she extends her hand and tells him to follow her. Lint freezes, a little flustered at the gesture. Belina laughs. Come on, you shouldn't be embarrassed. We're already pretty close, aren't we? That just makes him even more nervous. He awkwardly takes her hand and asks if he's doing it right. You're fine, she reassures him. Just hold on and don't overthink it. Despite his nerves, Lint can't help but enjoy it. He catches himself smiling, just looking at Belina's face while they walk hand in hand. Before he can get too sentimental, Belina suddenly speeds up, practically dragging him through the crowded streets. Out of the way, she shouts as they zoom past the citizens. People stare as the pair blitz through the capital like a blur. Belina makes a huge leap, still holding Lint, and when she lands, the force causes a shockwave, kicking up a cloud of dust. She skids to a stop and says, We're here. Lint, meanwhile, is face down on the ground, barely conscious. He groans, thanking whatever deity is listening that he's still alive after that roller coaster ride. Belina throws her arms up. Behold the dragon's nest. Lint's brain short-circuits for a second. Wait, what? He slowly picks himself up and stares at the massive nest ahead. Belina points out that there might be a young dragon inside, one Lint could potentially tame. You could become a dragon tamer, she says like it's no big deal. Lint's internal alarm bells are screaming. Going in there is basically suicide, he thinks, panic rising. Meanwhile, Belina is already scanning the area, clearly on a hunt for something big. Lint, still spiraling, starts to feel something different about her. There's this intense aura like dragon breath. And then Belina tilts her head, smiling sweetly. Is this one a good boy? She asks. Lint immediately snaps to attention. What creature? Where? She calmly points ahead, right in front of us. It's coming this way. Just as she says that, the ground rumbles. Cracks form beneath their feet. Lint stares in disbelief. This has got to be a joke. But it's not. A colossal creature bursts out from beneath the earth, sending debris flying in every direction. Lint stumbles back, eyes wide. The monster, he says, barely able to process it, is right there,